Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. AwesomelyNiri here. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today's look is my everyday go-to super casual look. These are makeup 101 beauty basics that everyone should know. Even if you do know about the makeup world and you have your routine set, this is my routine. This is how I do most of my makeup. And this is basically a look that I would do on the weekend, or if I'm rushing, if I have no real place to go. If I'm walking to my grandma's house and Zaddy ends up being on a corner, hey, you just never know. So this is my casually slaying beauty basics, and let's jump right into it. Started. So first and foremost, we are doing primers, and I usually use these two primers together because one is more of a moisturizer and it's smooth skin, and then the other one, it's photo finish primer water, and it just kind of like infuses whatever moisturizers on your skin onto your skin, and it primes and preps your skin for foundation. So here's the first one. It's from number 7. It's called Airbrush Away, and as you can see, it's a cream, and I just pretty much dot and rub this all over. It's a cream, and once you rub it in, it turns translucent, or it disappears. I'm not trying to use fancy words really. Also, forgive me for all the crazy faces I'm about to make, but I feel like you don't apply makeup right if you don't make those crazy faces. Am I right? Am I right? We are just gonna spray away. Let that dry. And Smashbox is really known for its awesome primers, so I do really truly recommend this one, or any of their primers. So I just really like sprays because I feel like it's just super easy to go on. And once that dries, we're going to move on to foundation. I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way, and I am in shade Sand. Love, love, love this foundation. I'm not exactly sure how much it costs, but I know it's not drugstore, and it's not super duper expensive, but I love the fact that it has a pump. Just such a plus. And so I'm going to use my beauty sponge, and it's a little damp. I had wet it, and what that does, it just makes sure that when you use a damp beauty sponge, it literally melts into your skin. It helps blend your skin so flawlessly with the foundation, and who doesn't want that? You don't want it to look like you have foundation on, so when you use a beauty sponge, it just really, really, really helps hide the fact that you have foundation on, because it just blends so well with your skin. So once I dotted some foundation all over, I'm just going to gently pat my beauty sponge all over. And I'm not rubbing, and I'm not doing any kind of motions. I'm just dotting, dabbing, gently pouncing, however you want to use it. I'm just doing that to every inch of my face. Next up, we have concealer, and we have the Shape Tape from Tarte, and I love this concealer because it's super blendable, so full coverage, and you really don't need a lot. So what I do is I just do some dots in the form of upside down triangle, and I don't get too close to the eye. So once you get too close to your eyelid, because I have a lot of wrinkles under there, they crease a lot. So if you have trouble with creasing, or if you have wrinkles under there, do not put too much concealer on. And so I'm going to use a beauty sponge as well, but this is much smaller and it's damp as well. And we are going to first pat on top of it, blend it out, take it down, and then kind of follow the outline that I made. Over, bring the product down, because you don't want to go straight under the eye, because you will get creasing. Once you've applied to your under eye, I like to put a little bit on the high points of my face and at the very low point, just to highlight the rest of your face. Blend out like so. Next up we have setting powders, and I'm going to use this Laura Mercier translucent powder for my under eye. And I'm going to set that with this awesome e.l.f. brush. Make sure you look up, gently tap that onto your creases, and then when you look down, make sure you get that too. Warning, this will go everywhere, no matter how careful you try to get, or try to be. Setting my face, I use the Maybelline Fit Me powder in the same shade as my Maybelline foundation, which is 230. And the reason why we are setting our eyes and our face is so that the foundation and the concealer don't go anywhere. If you have a really active day or the weather is not the best, you must set, or just simply you have a long day. So we're just going to place the face powder everywhere we did not put concealer. And I don't know if you can tell the difference, but this face powder is life. I don't use any other, so I'm just tapping that. I'm going in any general direction all over. And once again, we are not swiping, rubbing the brush anywhere, everywhere. We do not want to create lines or any unevenness on our base. And then without anything else on the brush, I just like to go over it again just to make sure I pat that powder on. So annoyed is my favorite word in the English dictionary, but it doesn't even cover it because my camera completely stopped recording out of nowhere and didn't record my bronzer segment, so just gonna do it again. So the bronzer I use is Marc Jacobs Tantric 102, and no, I'm not bougie, no, I'm not rich, lower nose, I'm not rich, but this is what it looks like. It's my favorite bronzer. I use it all the time for the past couple of months, and you can barely see. It doesn't even look like I made a dent in it. So what I do is I dip very gently into the product, and I go under my cheekbones, on my forehead, and on my jawline. I'm not touching where I did concealer because that'll just offset the highlight points of the concealer on the bottom here and at the top. So what the bronzer is doing is just giving your face some structure and giving your face that chiseled effect. And you're making sure you're blending it out evenly, so when you place the product down, you're going to blend it out softly on top and right under where you placed the product. Like so. And once you place it down on that 1, 2, 3 points, make sure you connect it right all around. And it just gives your face that warmer, more structured look. And if you've applied way too much in a particular section, with the same product, you either tap out your brush or you go to another section where you haven't applied bronzer, and you begin to blend out. And once your blush is empty, well, not empty, but has less product on it, you go back to that area and make sure you blend it out nicely on the bottom of where you placed it, on the top, and just sweep it around your face. And then if you really have applied too much, you just go back with your face powder and you dab on wherever it is that you applied too much bronzer. Here I have the Morphe blush palette, which I highly recommend, because there are two palettes. So there's this light peach, lighter pink tones, and then you have also pink tones, but they're a little darker. And for one, I love blush, but I don't like applying too much blush, and I don't like make it seem like I have super rosy cheeks, because to me it just offsets everything else. You like to apply everything evenly, make sure something is not so darker than others. So what I use an e.l.f. angled brush for one as well for the blush, and we're going to tap very gently into it. Let's use this peachy color here. They have, in the pan, they have a little bit of sparkle in it, but it doesn't really transfer on the cheeks. These are super duper pigmented, so not only are they cheap, but you really get a bang for your buck. So we're going to apply that right above where we placed the bronzer. So they're just touching, they're meeting, and we're lightly blending that in. And then this is where I use the angled part to go straight up, so it gives you a straight line. And then you just blend that in very softly. You can use these little circle strokes. You can just go back and forth at the bottom, at the top. I like to stop right here where your, I guess, cheekbone starts, and then just sweep it backwards. And this brush really helps you take it back in a straight line. And then if I want to apply more and I want to be very careful, I just take the very tip of the brush, tap that, and go back in. So if you're still having trouble with where everything goes, the bronzer, it's going to start right under your cheekbone. So as you can see, that's where my bronzer is. And then your blush starts right on top of it. So next up we have highlighter. Another fun part of doing your face, being that face. We have the Jeffree Star Cosmetics, Skin Frost in shade Eclipse. And I love the shade, because it's just, all of his shades just give you that awesome, it's the perfect name, Skin Frost. It just frosts the life out of your face. So I pick up a good amount on my brush, and I use a Morphe R31. And I guess if you're afraid of highlight, maybe you shouldn't use this brush, but what is? I like to place it sitting right on top of your blush. The same with anything and everything that you place on your face. Just make sure you blend it in nicely, evenly, and you distribute it evenly across your face. So I take that up to the high point of right, I guess, mid eyebrow. And there you have it. Highlighting does just that. It just highlights your face. It gives it that fun, dewy, sexy look. I love highlighting. This is just an added bonus. I like to add some on the top of my lips right here, my nose, a little bit on the bridge of my nose. So I like to highlight all around. If this is not for you, or if you have greasy skin and it's not for you, you can totally skip this step. So like I said, this is a simple everyday look. I don't really carve out my brows when it's time to do my eyebrows. What I really do use is this Brow Conditioning Primer from Benefit, and I love this product because it conditions your eyebrows. And not only that, well, anything that says conditioning, you have to be all for. But not only that, it just tames my wild ass eyebrows, because for some reason they just have a life of its own. Like, my eyebrows are always doing something they're not supposed to be doing. So I love this because it keeps them in place. And if you have that same problem as me, I would totally suggest getting this. And this product also makes all the difference, because once it dries, it's still, you can see it, it's still, it gives your eyebrows just such shape. Like I said, it keeps them in place, and it makes them look just a little bit darker, as if you applied product already and you really haven't. So without doing much, it's already, you have such a difference. But then I'm going to use my Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil, and I'm just going to fill in the parts where they look a little, they need some live. So those are the two products that I normally use when I'm not going out for super duper glammed out, carved out eyebrows. I used to have a really hard time applying eyeliner, only because if the product wasn't pigmented enough, my eyes, I guess, were so sensitive that they would start watering so crazy, and they would water so bad that I couldn't get the product on. So the more I rubbed on the product, the more my eyes would water, and it would just be a hot mess and just a vicious cycle of just unproductiveness. So I really, really love the fact that these are super, super pigmented. They stay on for a long while, and you really don't need to be here coating them on over and over and over again. Ultimate favorite mascaras. I'm obsessed. I love venturing out with like matte lippies, blushes, foundations, but when it comes to mascara, for some reason, I'm just like so picky. I don't even know why. I don't even know what I look for. When I'm doing this casual look, I just do a bold lip just to enhance the face a little bit, just to make it look like we're really trying, when in reality we're really not. And I chose Jeffree Star Cosmetics Masochist. And if you really have a hard time with liquid lips and them not being too dry for you, this is an awesome formula. So last and final step is setting spray. Always set your makeup. The same way that you set your eyes and set your face is the same way that you must set your face. Only because, I mean, once you do all this hard work, casual look or not, you don't want it going anywhere. So I like to use the Urban Decay All Nighter, and this stuff is witchcraft. The best way to set your makeup and the easiest way is to spray, look forward, and fan it dry, which doesn't take more than a few seconds, and we have our final look. If you've been struggling with makeup, if you just want to see my routine, hope you've learned something, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Do not forget to subscribe. Thank you so much.